Hello there, Catie here from Front Porch Nurse, and today we are going to dig into Dr. Google. Is he really a good doctor? Should we page him? Let's find out. Okay, I know I'm going to ask you this question, and I already know the answer, but be honest with yourself. Have you ever Googled symptoms or things that you're worried about, diseases you're worried about, and just convinced yourself that you had everything going on from B12 deficiency to a tumor to whatever? I get it. It's easy to let happen. But my goal at Front Porch Nurse is to help you reduce that invisible load, that stress that happens, especially around our health and healthcare, and to protect our energy. So, saving some time and being able to find what we want to find on the internet more easily is a great place to save some of that energy and time. Okay, so Dr. Google, what do you want from us? Here's an important thing to remember. Our brain, when we're reading online, cannot tell the difference between fake news and really great research because it's all in text, it's all being read and interpreted in the same way. So our brain doesn't really help us in this specific context. Okay. That's why we need to be able to filter that information. Can Dr. Google help me figure out my health? Kind of. I know it's not a solid answer, is it? We will definitely search because we have all this information at our fingertips, which is brilliant. But Dr. Google isn't the best filter of the information. So here's the thing. The Googster can get us some information that is factual, but he also just believes a lot of just crap that he'll tell us too. So when we start searching, instead of the mindless, like typing in just an anxious search, you know, I'm so tired all the time. What's wrong with me? Just take a beat and think to yourself, what am I really looking for? What do I really want to know? Have I noticed some patterns in my energy, in my health? Have I noticed patterns with pain, or have I noticed things going on, like specific symptoms that keep repeating? Or am I looking for some reassurance, like, it's okay, honey, we are tired. We are tired. But we, instead of going to a girlfriend, we go to Dr. Google. Okay. Think about where you're starting from when you're looking on the internet. Then remember how the internet works. This is key. The internet rewards popularity. It's like that freaking jerk in high school that just, you know what I mean. It rewards popularity. It rewards repeated information. It rewards information that gets a lot of clicks. And that could be the worst information. It could be the most untrue. But that stuff will rise to the top of the search results because it's so clicked and because it's so shared and because it's so repeated. Remember that. Just because something is written online does not make it true. I don't know how many times I've said that to my kids. Just because a TikTok goes viral doesn't mean that it's true. Google cannot individualize. So when you're searching for something, you're searching for it from your perspective. Like you want the individualized context, but Google can't do that. Okay. It can't do meaning. It just does words and information, and whatever gets the most clicked, that's what it repeats. Okay, sister Christians. The systems, the healthcare, the patriarchy, all the rest, they have tried so hard to take away our power in this arena. We need to trust ourselves. Our health is largely up to us and the choices we make each day. And I'm not only talking about exercising, which is awesome for us, but I'm talking about when we sit online and we get worked up about things. That's really bad for us. That's the inflammation in our cells. That's our nervous system telling us, please stop. Google didn't even go to medical school, dudes. Remember, like, he just got a freaking honorary degree somewhere. I don't even know. He's so proud of himself. Like, he's like a mediocre white man. Believe yourself and trust yourself. If something feels wrong with your health, then it might be, and you need to get that checked out. Okay. So, Google is like a library. Just imagine it. Remember back in the day, I get library books now, but I get them on Kindle. I get them digitally. So I don't really go to the library anymore. But man, when I was growing up, we had a tremendous library. And I just remember going in there and it was so peaceful and quiet and it smelled so delicious, like all of the knowledge and the information in the books and the pages. Ugh, it's just so good. That's Google. Google doesn't know us. Google is a library. So if you think about it that way, okay, what am I really looking for? Remember the card catalog? Dewey Decimal System? Love that, dude, Dewey Decimal. That's how we can use Google to be helpful. Google is not good at any kind of diagnosis, any kind of treatment, because a lot of the treatments that get the top results are just the most repeated. They're not individualized at all. Okay, so Google works for general facts. What is perimenopause? Google will tell you, like, Google can roll out the way that your hormones change over time and the most common symptoms and stuff like that, and the most common treatments, but it can't tell you the treatments that are right for you. Lifestyle basics, Google has some pretty good stuff on lifestyle basics. Use websites that are known to be credible. So a lot of times .edus that come from like universities are helpful. .orgs that come from national organizations, like say you're looking for information about diabetes, you find the American Diabetes Association. They're an org. Great. Right now, I would not use .gov in the US, and that's because a lot of the websites have had research information retracted recently, and I'm recording this in 2025. But other governments have some really good factual information on their websites, like .nhs, which is National Health Service, which is in the UK. Canada, I forgot their dot. It's dot something ca. But they have really good, Canadian Health Service has really good information online. Australia, their health services have good information online. So just be careful what you're looking at exactly. Look at the actual website. Remember that .coms can be purchased by anyone. Sometimes organizations have .coms, but not a lot of the bigger organizations do not. They have .orgs. Okay. Mayo Clinic, Cleveland Clinic, they have blog posts and information that are supported by research. Sometimes Google's good for getting the language around what you're experiencing and you want to go ask your health provider about, like pain. Like, how could I characterize this pain that I'm having in my knee? And Google will probably give a ton of different posts with a lot of different words like nagging, aching, sharp, tingling. That kind of stuff is helpful when you actually have somebody who can diagnose you. All right. This is what not to do. I think you're picking up what I'm putting down. Do not self-diagnose, please. The information that you see that's instant fix, miracle cure, cure diabetes in 5 days, one size fits all. Every single person should do this exercise program because it's going to cure everything that's aching and wrong with you. Anything that's too good to be true. Most of those are going to be websites that are selling you stuff. And it's not that buying health programs is necessarily a bad thing, but it's really not geared toward the individual. It's just geared towards selling the product. I think this is interesting. When I was researching this presentation, there's actually cyberchondria is an actual diagnosis where people search online so much and get just obsessed with the worst case scenarios. Like, you have probably experienced searching for something about tiredness or fatigue, and you get everything from it's okay, just take a nap, to clearly this is a brain tumor. Like, the results are just crazy. And if you got obsessed with that brain tumor issue, that really could mess up your nervous system and make you sick in other ways that when you probably don't have a brain tumor. Most likely you do not have a brain tumor, okay? Okay, to recap, the green flags and the red flags when we're looking for information. Green flags include author credentials that you either know what they mean or you can look up what they mean. Multiple options, like common treatments include option 1, option 2, option 3, rather than, well, I'll get that to the in the red. Pros and cons. The multiple treatments include 1, and here's the pros and cons. 2, here's the pros and cons. 3, here's the pros and cons. And information that's pretty current. Now, when I say current in research, it can be several years old. It takes up to a couple of years to submit a written manuscript and get it published in a quality journal. Yeah, it takes up to a couple of years to submit a written manuscript of great research that's been done and get it published in a quality, reliable research journal. So right there, that adds a couple of years onto your timeline. So within the last 5 years is absolutely acceptable when it comes to true research-based information. Red flags? No author, fear and shame. If you don't get this program, you will never be able to stand up straight again. Miracle cures. If, cure urinary incontinence in 1 day. A sales pitch, it's all a sales pitch, honey. Studies show, but not actually telling you which studies are showing what. And all of that is clickbait. Clickbait especially refers to the headlines. And I know all this, and I think about this a lot, and I still fall for it. Like, the one herb that can, slow aging. Like, yeah, I do want to know that. My brain wants to know that. Unfortunately, it's not really true. And too specific to matter, those are things like the one herb that can cure aging. What I mean by that is, if it's a one single solution thing, like one herb, the one nut to eat every day, the only berry you will ever need again, that stuff doesn't work. That's not the way our bodies work. Our bodies work based on everything that's input into them. So if you eat the same berry every single day, then you might be missing out on other berries that have other nutrients that are important too. Another key point for us in midlife and beyond, only 5 to 10% of women's health research addresses midlife physiology. And only, I've heard 15%, I don't know if that's a fact, but a very small amount of research funding is dedicated to women's health research. And so that's our entire lifespan. That includes pregnancy research. That includes, puberty and development and healthy adult women, and then midlife and perimenopause and menopause and aging and what kind of exercise is best and longevity and our heart health. Because so most of the studies that are available to us are based on young healthy men. By young, I mean in their 20s and 30s, young adult, healthy men. Why? Because they were the ones who have been researched forever. They didn't have the complications, quote, quote, of women with uteri, who could be pregnant, because that ruled out a lot of things. Like, you can't give whatever kind of drugs to women who could be pregnant. That would be terrible. So the research is very limited around women's health, especially in midlife and beyond. And so even if you do a great search and you're looking for really factual information, there's limited information to start. So all the misinformation that goes around the blogosphere and the clickbait and all that will rise up in the Google search results because there's not good information to start with. It's crappy. Obviously, you know this in your heart. Google cannot offer you reassurance, compassion, personalized context and diagnoses, and personalized clinical judgment. Any good clinician, can tell you that and understand what that means. So Google's a decent library with the information that is available, but as far as reassurance, like if you're wondering, oh gosh, I think this might be wrong. I know somebody who had this. I wonder if I have this. He's no good. Health and healing is not digital, is not virtual. It's really complex. We think we have a lot of science and we have barely scratched the surface. We do not understand a ton of things about healing. And you will be able to read stories about, quote, miracle healing, and there it happens. Like, healing happens in situations that our science could never have imagined. But we don't know how. I know it sounds crazy. We don't. We don't know how yet. Everything we do in this life impacts our health. What you eat, what you think impacts it a lot more than you might imagine. What we feel, these impact us on a cellular level. This is where inflammation can come in if you're repeatedly stressed. And this is what we're trying to really work on, what I'm trying to work on and help with at Front Porch Nurse. We just need to change our approaches and switch up the way that we do things. And we can totally do that. You've done it before. You've done it how many times in your life, that you've changed the way that you function? We can do it. We don't have great information to support us. That's okay. If you are digging into online searching about any kind of health information and you start to feel worked up, you start to feel upset, please step away. Step away from the screen. Calm your nervous system. Go analog. Take a walk. Just, what's weird is that if watching TV relaxes you, like watch a show. But that's still a screen, right? Anyways, I feel like it's different. Um, Talk to your kids, like have a snack, just close your eyes and rest for a minute, do something different. This affects our nervous system. What we read affects our nervous system, and we have got to protect ourselves as much as possible. I know this picture is a little bit cheesy. This image is a little cheesy, but I just thought it was so sweet. Have your own back when it comes to your health and healthcare. Trust your intuition. You know if you don't feel right. Trust it. And it doesn't automatically mean go make an appointment with your, healthcare provider. It could mean that, but it could mean, I know that something I'm doing is not serving me right now. Like maybe you're sitting too much. You can switch that up yourself. You don't need to go to a doctor, obviously. That was a good eye roll, wasn't it? Okay, so that's about Google. Use them as a library. That's it. And evaluate the results that you get. Don't just take everything that's in print on the internet for truth. You know that. I'm going to actually do a video about searching where I'll share my screen with you and help you get better questions, more informational results. And we will do that in next week's video. Okay. Oh, yeah. Click below to join my email list. Ask as many questions as you want. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear from you.